welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I am Susan, your hostess, and we are doing Elf Cookies 23, hosted by Gail Southern Living. Miss Gail, thank you very much. This is going to be one of two recipes this week that I decided I wanted to put out. And I wanted to tell you that this was a favorite cookie of mine while I was in high school, middle school, high school. It's the Memphis City Butter Cookies. So this is a lunch lady recipe. It makes a lot of cookies, and I'm sure it will be Santa approved, elf approved, and of course student approved. And our family absolutely loves these. You can do a lot of decorating with these and different things, but I'm just going to do a basic cookie dough today and show you the basics of this, and then you can let your imagination go wild as to what you want to add to the top of this cookie. It is a large batch, so it's going to call for 7 sticks of butter or margarine, or that would be 3.5 cups. The school used margarine in their recipe. I used butter. It calls for 2 cups of sugar, 6 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 teaspoon of salt. It does make 7 dozen cookies. This first appeared in the Commercial Appeal newspaper in 2013, and we are going to get this recipe started. I'm using some of my Amish butter that is shelf stable. We buy this at the Amish community. So 1 pint would be 2 cups. So I'm going to get 3.5 cups out of this, and then we're going to mix in our sugar. And the reason I'm using this, it's already softened. I don't have to wait for my butter to soften in the refrigerator. It works so wonderfully. It has a good flavor. It's a rich buttery flavor. And this one has a little bit of what they call brown butter at the bottom, but that's okay. It'll just add to the flavor of this recipe. Let me get the rest of that out of there. And we're going to get this mixer going here in just a moment. These cookies were, I think, everybody's favorite in middle school and high school, and I'm sure just about every school in America had this recipe or one similar to it for the students to buy. And we just absolutely loved it. And I'm just going to guesstimate on the second jar because I know that this is 2 cups, so I know that if I get it down to about right here, then I am approximately at my 3.5 cup mark. And they make this with fresh cow's milk. And we do too. I make a lot of my own butter because I buy the fresh milk and I put the butter in the freezer. So that looks like a lot of butter going in there, doesn't it, folks? And I have left that much in my jar. I think I'm good. So we're going to get this into our mixer, get it started beating, and we're going to add in our sugar and our vanilla. Let me clean my hands. I don't want butter all over my hands. You want a light, fluffy mixture, so you want your butter to be softened. I'm using 2 cups of organic sugar. You can use white sugar in its place. You can use monk fruit sweetener. If you want a lower carb cookie, I am featuring the La Vencedora Vanilla. La Vencedora Vanilla. This was gifted to me by Lazy Days Ahead with Jess and Lisa. And this is really and truly one of the best vanillas I have ever had. So we're using this today in our cookie. We've added in 2 cups of flour so far. I'm going to start incorporating the rest of this. This is going to be quite a full mixer by the time I'm done. Y'all can see the cloud of dust. That's why I didn't want to bring you in close yet. Woo! I'm going to slow my mixer down because I don't want it going everywhere. And it's really important to scrape the sides of your bowl so that you're getting all that flour mixed in there. I'm going to stop this so I can get the rest of the flour in there. And we're going to get rid of all of this. And I'm really going to be mixing this very slowly to get the last little bit of this flour incorporated. It is a big batch of cookies, y'all. So I want to get as much of this dough wrapped around away from the edge of the mixer as I possibly can. And maybe we won't have such a big cloud of dust here. And I'm going to turn this back on so that you can see what I'm doing here. I've got flour everywhere in my kitchen now. And I'm going to turn this on. And we are incorporated. Now this is a very, very full bowl, let me tell you. And I do, like I said, I do have flour everywhere in here. Right now I'm going to do a little cleanup and we'll be right back. Alright, I did a little bit of a cleanup because I need my counter space. And I'm just going to make sure that there is no flour in here that didn't get incorporated. And we're going to actually refrigerate some of this. This makes a good refrigerator cookie dough for when you have unexpected company. I've never tried to freeze this, but I assume that it would freeze very well because of the butter content. And it is so good, y'all. Excuse me. One of my favorite things about this is you can roll it out. You can cut cookies with it. You can drop it by the spoonful, or you can roll it onto parchment or wax paper and store in the refrigerator. So I'm going to pull out some parchment paper. I don't have any wax paper right now. I'm going to get me a spoon down. And I'm just going to start getting this onto my parchment paper. This does make 7 dozen cookies. So we're going to kind of form a log a little bit. And I like to pull my paper up and fold it down. Tuck my ends under. And now I can kind of form it and get this into the refrigerator to store. So you'll have a lot of cookies ready for when your friends and family come by. They're such a lovely, lovely gift to give out. You could put these in jars and give it to them, or a pretty container, and give them away as gifts. So I just make sure that I've got that in there good. I've got 2 so far. And you want to use up your dough probably within a week's time. Unless you decide to freeze some of this. And I may try freezing it and letting y'all know in a live how they turn out. So I'm going to get this one rolled up, and then we're going to do the last of that cookie dough up and make cookies with it. And I did have a little bit of flour there, so we're just going to kind of incorporate this in real quick. So there we have cookie dough to go in the refrigerator. So I'm going to get this into the refrigerator. We're going to get the rest of this done up on our cookie sheet, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I've got a scoop, but you can use a tablespoon and tablespoon this out, or you can roll it into a log and slice it, or you can make it into you can refrigerate it for a while, and then you can use cookie cutters and cut out shapes if you like. But I'm just going to put these on the cookie sheet about 2 inches apart. And this is going to make a fairly good sized cookie because it's more than a tablespoon. I think this is probably 2 tablespoons or maybe 3. And I'm just going to turn my cookie sheet around so that y'all can see me putting these on there. I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. me get that spatula and try to scrape this bowl and get the rest of this out of here. I'm a messy cook, what can I say? Okay, I've got 15 cookies on this cookie sheet. We're going to wait for our oven to get up to temperature. Then we're going to set this in the oven for 7 to 10 minutes. So we'll be checking on these, and we'll bring them out and bring you back once we get these out of the oven. They are so good. Alright, I just took these out of the oven. You might want to let them sit for a minute or two, but that's what they look like when they come out. There's many things you can do with these. You can take half the dough and put a little bit of green food coloring in it, and half the dough put red food coloring in it. Set them side by side and scoop your cookies to make them look Christmassy. Or you could take a vanilla icing and some crushed candy canes and ice it and add some crushed candy canes to it. You could dip them in chocolate and add some nuts to this. You could just decorate them if you wanted to just decorate them, but these are good just like they are. This is one of my favorite cookies of all time. I am not kidding you. They're so tasty. I'm going to let these cool on the rack for a few minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll discuss some more ideas about how to use this cookie dough and make many decorations. You could take this cookie dough and set 3 different size balls beside each other, make you a snowman. That would be very cute. So here they are on the rack, cooling. Just beautiful. Well, the children are all nestled, all snug in their beds, while they had visions of sugar plums dance in their heads. Santa's on his way, and we've got a big plate of cookies from him to choose from. Now, I put them in the little cupcake papers. I think that makes a beautiful presentation, especially if you're putting them into a box, or if you want to set them out and just have everybody grab one of these as a portion, and that way they're already portioned out. That makes a beautiful presentation, I think. And of course, you want to have some hot chocolate or some eggnog, something, or coffee, any of those things that you would normally have wassail. You want to have those prepared as well to go with your cookies. And don't you love my gingerbread mug? I've had it for years and years. I absolutely love it. So, what do the cookies taste like? Would you like to try them? There you go. It's a beautiful cookie. Well, I'm going to do a taste test on this. Rich, buttery cookies with a little bit of a crunch. Beautiful crumb inside. And I'm making a mess, but they are very tasty. Now, there's several things you can do. You don't want to use all butter. You can mix half and half coconut oil and butter together. They turn out wonderful. I've done that in the past. You can use margarine, of course. That's what Memphis City Schools did. You can use regular sugar. You can use monk fruit sweetener. Monk fruit sweetener has 0 carbs, 0 calories. So you're actually cutting the carbs quite a bit. I've never tried it with coconut or almond flour, but I'm sure that they would turn out nice. You could change the vanilla to almond extract. You want something that is a lighter tone to it for this cookie. So an almond extract with a little bit of frosting glaze on it and maybe some almonds sprinkled on top would be very, very tasty and beautiful to present to your family and friends for gifts. I wouldn't add chocolate chips to this, I don't think. Although you could do a chocolate coating or just a chocolate drizzle on these would be very tasty. Or a white chocolate. That would be very tasty as well. These are very, very good cookies, y'all. Very good. I hope that you have enjoyed this cooking adventure in my kitchen. It's a little bit of a thrifty Christmas for me. I'm wearing a vintage apron that I have repurposed and reworked to celebrate the season with my vintage coffee mug. There's something about cookies and hot cocoa that makes you think of the season of giving. This is the season that we celebrate the birth of Jesus. I will close this out letting you know that without the birth of Jesus, there would have been no cross. There would have been no forgiveness of sins. And so we celebrate Jesus' birth in our home. Whether you put the tree up or not, or how you celebrate or not, just know that this is a season of giving because the ultimate gift came bundled as a baby and was laid in a lowly manger for you and for me. And 33 years later, he went to the cross of Calvary willingly for you and me to be the ultimate sacrifice for our sins, the only sacrifice that God will accept. So if you are seeking Jesus like the wise men and the shepherds sought him, you will find him. Thank you, friends, for watching. And I also want to thank Gail Southern Living for hosting the Elf Cookies 23 collaboration. This is an open collaboration, everybody. You can simply upload the video. Make sure you tag her in your title or in your description. She's got a playlist going. And you want to use the hashtag ElfCookies23. May you be fully blessed, friends.